You're going to launch the server. We can see that we already have this icon up here that the server is, and connect to the server. When you connect to the server, hold on, I'm going to disconnect so that you guys can. When you log onto these computers, an instructor has to do it for you. So there's an instructor login on each of the printing stations. So you'll have to have an instructor log in. You cannot print outside of class time. So, hello, sorry, paper. Don't leave your paper in your car because it will ruin inkjet paper as well as actual photo paper. So make sure that you always bring your photo paper in. I don't know if it fits in a locker or not. Hopefully it does. And once I log in and you go to connect to the server, it's going to say instructor, right? It's going to say instructor. That does not mean that I need to come over and log in. You're just going to delete where it says instructor and put in your login information. So the same way you log into your computer, you're going to put that in here to connect to the server. So I don't have to come over and log everybody in each time that you transfer files. You're just going to put in what you normally put in. Hello. Your normal login information, your normal password. And then that's going to connect you to the server. And then go to the folder, or print folder, Regan K. So I'm going to Command C, copy it. I'm going to go to Documents, and we've got Print Regan Digital 1. And then we're going to Command V. This keyboard's been acting real wonky.
You didn't copy anything.
I did copy it. I hit Command C, I copied it, but
I think that keyboard shot from the sun.
this keyboard is messed up. So what I found when I was working earlier was that I had to drag and drop. I don't necessarily like to drag and drop because anybody here ever dragged and dropped and had 300 files on their desktop? We've all done it. We've all done it. So I don't like to drag and drop, but I'm gonna have to do it here because this keyboard is wonk. So I've got my print folder with Regan K, and I'm going to drop it into the Digital 1 folder. I want you guys to have a folder with your name on it so we know who's printed from what computer, so we can just, so it's organized, okay? And once you've got them transferred, this is really important, eject the server. I want to see that icon gone. I do not want to see the server icon. We do not print from the server. Do not print from the server.
So we need to make a folder.
The folder that I created over there, Regan K print,
Correct.
I just took that folder and I dropped it into this folder here, which is going to permanently be in the documents folder of this computer. So print Regan Digital 1, that's your class. That's going to be your class. So everybody's folders that
Oh, they're going into that folder.
yeah,
They're not
that's where it's going
okay.
into. That's where it's going to go into. You see Mark's classes and other people's stuff. We're going to make sure our stuff is all organized, so it's going to go right here into this folder. Do not print from a thumb drive either. Do not print from a hard drive. Do not print from a thumb drive. Do not print from the server. All files must be printed from the documents folder. All files must be printed from the documents folder. You must transfer those files from the server, the thumb drive, the external, to this folder. Do not print, am I getting it across?
Yeah.
Do not print from an external source, not the server or a hard drive. So we've got it there. The server is no longer published. I don't have that big icon up there. So now I'm going to open Photoshop. So we're going to launch Photoshop. You guys won't have to do anything at the beginning of class in terms of turning the printers on. I'm going to uncover the printers for print day, and I'm going to make sure that they're on. What we do every day, or I'll do prior to you guys printing, is run one of these. So that's what I did before class started. I just ran a nozzle check on the printers to make sure that all of our colors are printing and we don't have any banding. So you guys won't have to worry about that. So now we're going to pull up our images, file, open. So print Regan Digital 1, that's me. I'm going to take my two images, open. All right. So we've got our files. Actually, I think I grabbed the wrong one. I'm going to go ahead and print though. So we've got our files, and now we're going to go to File and Print. So I'm going to have you guys take out a piece of notebook paper, take out something to write on, and I'm going to have you guys write down all the steps I'm going through. You're also welcome to come take a picture of this screen if you want. When you come to sit down to print, I'm going to ask that you have another person sitting there with you, but I'm going to ask that you have your notes with you. I'm going to need to see that you physically have your notes, that you're not asking the person next to you, what do I do? How do I do this? That you have your notes that you can follow along with. There's just a second person sitting there with you to make sure that you are not going in the wrong direction. So they're just there as a second set of eyes. They're not telling you what to do.
But if you're going the wrong direction, they'll help you.
They'll help you, but it's not going to
Don't
be,
go that way.
yeah, but it's not going to be like Danielle's printing and Tim's sitting there going, it's Danielle's prints and Tim's going through the print dialog box. It's going to be Danielle going through the print dialog box, Danielle with her notes, and if Tim sees that she's got something checked wrong, then he can say, that's the wrong one. And you know, that should be in your notes. So we'll have a second set of eyes, but they're not the one doing the work. They're just there as a backup. So print, file, print, and then you're going to have the print dialog box. Here's an unfortunate inconsistency. The print dialog box for this printer is different than it is for that printer. Here's the good news. This print dialog box is more complicated than that one, and this is the one that I'm recording. So we're going to start at the top. We always start at the top, and then we work our way down. The printer, this should always have the Epson SureColor P7000. If it says HP Color LaserJet or LaserJet, it's printing to the other lab. We don't want that. We need to print in here. So it needs to be the Epson SC P7000. That's the.
Say that again. Need to be in the what?
So right here, you see it says SureColor P7000 on the printer. It's the one at the top of the list. Epson SC P7000 series. As long as it doesn't say LaserJet, you got the right one. So no LaserJet. The very next thing that you're going to click on is Print Settings. So just below, this is in the printer setup, Print Settings. And now we've got the printer, that is selected. And next thing we're going to do is paper size. So we've got printer and paper size.
And that's 12A.
Super A,
Huh?
Super A \B is the size of the paper. Super A \B is the size of the paper. And we have two options that we can use, sheet or centering. If you select the sheet option, then whenever you print, there is going to be a little bit of extra room at the bottom of the piece of paper. If we choose centering, it is going to center this on the paper.
Both pictures.
Yes, it's going to center that document onto the 13 by 19 sheet. Here's the issue that you're going to run into. If you choose centering, which makes things even, which prints them equally distant apart on the sheet of paper, it is going to say, image clipping will occur, proceed. And this is critical. If you have not sized this document to 12 inches by 18 inches, and you've sized it at something larger, and it says image clipping will occur, proceed, then it's going to cut off part of your image. Now, there are some people like me who are a little, and Gary, who are a little, we want things to be even and neat and and symmetrical, right? We want it to be even on the paper. If it's shifted on the paper, it just gives us the heebie-jeebies. Is anybody else like that? Okay, so then you're going to choose centering, but it is it is up to you to make sure that you have the right size paper, because if it prints and it cuts off some of your image and you say, Kristen, can I print again? I'm going to say no, because you should have checked it before you hit print. So when it says image clipping will occur, proceed, and you hit yes, you're going to see that whenever whenever you use this setting of centering. Where did my print dialog go?
But okay, let's say I did that, and it says that it's gonna put the image. Am I able to go back and put the right size, that 12 and 8 in there?
You can double check it. But when you come to this print station, everything should be done. Everything should be done ahead of time. There is no tweaking at the last minute. There is no changing the levels adjustment. There's no changing your image size. There's no flattening the image. When you get to this printer, it should be ready to go, because guess what? There's 17 other people that need to print. We have a very limited amount of time to print. So you got to make sure that when you sit down that you're ready. So if you're not ready and you're like, I need to go check my image size, then you will pick up and you will go back to your station and check it there. You won't do it here. This isn't a workstation, it's going to be a printer station.
Okay, so if it says that the image size will be cut, I can stop where I'm at and go back to my station.
You can.
Just get it, as long as I get out of everybody else's way.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So
We left off at Super A/B.
okay. I'm not sure what, did it stop recording?
Okay, so which is best for us to do, centering or the other one?
It's up to you.
It's up to you. Like I said,
The print settings is behind it, it's behind here.
yeah, it's one. Okay. All right. So we got our this mouse. Okay. Super A3, and I'm going to choose Super A3B sheet centering, and that way you'll be able to see the dialog box that I was talking about. Because it's not going to clip any of the image, but it's telling you it will.
Right. If you had it raw, you would.
So now we're going to go down. We're not going to choose layout. We're not going to choose paper handling. We're going to go to printer options. So this is in that print dialog box at the very top. So we're going to go to making sure we got the right printer, we got the right paper size, and we go to printer options. And now we're going to go to printer settings, printer options, printer settings. If anybody would like to take a picture of where I'm at right here, then go ahead and do that, because everybody starts looking for that printer settings in the main dialog box and it's not there. You have to go into this sub dialog box. So I've got the cursor next to the one that you're going to click. So it's under the print and printer options, printer settings. So printer options, printer settings. Printer options, printer settings. Got it? So now I'm going to click printer settings, go back, printer options, printer settings. Okay.
Okay, wait a minute. There's not only one back here,
Okay.
baby.
You can, it's a big screen. Come on, you guys. You guys can take a picture of it. Printer options, printer settings. All you need is this little dialog box right here.
Is that one right
This
there
one
or
right
this
here,
one over here?
printer settings.
Okay.
Printer options, printer settings. Okay? That's going to bring up another sub dialog box. So this is, we're going to keep it in basic and media type. Who in here bought glossy paper? Anybody? Anybody buy glossy paper? Everybody else brought luster? 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 Everybody's got luster? This is where you set the type of paper that you purchased and that you're going to be printing on. This is a really important step. So photo paper, and if you bought luster, if you bought the Red River Ultra Pro Satin, then it's going to be luster. If you bought this, and it says down here, you got to check. Don't just assume that it's luster. You got to check to make sure that you got luster paper. Then you're going to choose this setting. So it's going to be premium luster photo paper. There's a lot of options there, but premium luster photo paper 260. is the option. The 260 stands for grams per square meter. It's talking about the thickness of the paper, how heavy the paper is. So premium luster photo paper. Okay, next, where it says print mode and it says 16-bit output. What should I check?
Hold on, I'm sorry, print mode?
Print mode, where it says, and it's got next to it 16-bit output. Should I check that?
Yes.
Yeah. If your camera shoots in 16-bit and you save this as 16-bit and you export it out of Lightroom in 16-bit, don't you want all of that file information to be in your print? Yes. So you're going to check 16-bit. Output resolution, it's going to be Super Photo 2880. That's our resolution. It's the highest resolution. Super Photo, output resolution, Super Photo 2880. That's the highest possible resolution. Okay, then we're going to have high speed checked and finest detail checked.
Speed and fine, and what is what's the last one?
Finest detail, high speed and finest detail. So 16-bit out, we got premium luster photo paper, 16-bit output, Super Photo 2880, high speed and finest detail. Okay? You can take a picture if you want. It's going to be in the video, but premium luster photo paper, 16-bit, Super Photo 2880, high speed, finest detail. I'm recording. It's all recorded. (16-bit) Super Photo 2880, high speed, finest detail. Okay, moving on. So now we're going to go to save. All the stuff that we've set in here, we're going to go to save. Okay. Once we hit save, it's going to bring us back to the original print settings dialog box. So again, how do we get to that dialog box that we were just in? Print settings. And then when we hit that, then it was printer options and printer settings, and then that's where we had this, okay? And once we hit save, then we're going to be back to this dialog box, and we're going to work our way down again. There's more things to work through in this. Color handling. We don't want the printer to manage colors. Photoshop's going to manage colors because we set the black point, we set the white point, we altered the midtones, we changed this to black and white adjustment layers. We did all that work in Photoshop. If I let the printer make decisions for me, then it's going to negate what we did in Photoshop. So it needs to be Photoshop manages colors. That's going to open up printer profile. So look what happens. If I have printer manages colors, notice that the printer profile is grayed out. I can't do anything here. So you need to make sure that it's Photoshop manages colors. That's going to open this printer profile option. And now don't freak out. I'm about to show you all the different printer profiles because there's a profile for every type of paper out there that we've imported. So there's profiles for matte paper, glossy paper, canvas, fiber, exhibition matte. So all of these different paper profiles for every manufacturer, for every surface type. So now you're going to have to find the printer profile for the paper that you purchased. Did anybody order anything other than Epson or Red River? Did anybody get Ilford? Probably. Did anybody get Ilford? You got Ilford? Okay, that's expensive. Wow, where'd you find it?
I got it from my friend.
Oh, you got it from your friend. Nice friend. So I'm going to show you guys where to find the 3 profiles that you guys are going to use in the class. The most common ones are going to be the Epson, the Red River, and then I'll show you where the one is for Ilford. Don't freak out. So there's a couple of printer profiles to view.
Yes.
It goes up as well. So there's a couple of printer profiles that you'll need to sort through, just a few. If you have Epson, then you're going to be here at the top. Okay, so there's this little line right here. This is the default is sRGB. That's going to give you very little color space. We want to make sure that we're assigning, there's a specific profile for each type of paper, so we want to make sure that we can get all the color ranges out of it. You're like, well, how much difference can there be? Well, if you're printing on matte paper absorbs more ink than glossy paper, a lot more ink than glossy paper. So that tells the printer how much ink to lay down. If you have the wrong profile, then you can lay down way too much ink or not enough ink. Like canvas sucks up ink. Glossy paper, if you put too much ink on it, it just floats on the top and won't dry. So, why does it keep doing this? Okay.
That computer crazy.
It is. All right, so we're going to go to, and it's a weird name, but the name of the printer is SureColor P7000. That's why you see SCP9000 _ P7000, and we just have to find premium luster photo paper. Sorry about the mouse. All right, so premium luster photo paper 260. That's going to be the setting that you use for this type of paper. This is going to be the setting you use for this type of paper. It says SCP9000, P7000, Series LLK, Premium Luster Photo Paper. All of the Epson papers have that beginning part of the title, SCP9000, P7000, LLK. All you have to worry about is where it says Premium Luster Photo Paper. So all the Epsons have that same prefix to them. All you have to worry about is Premium Luster Photo Paper 260. Sorry, 260 is important. Premium Luster Photo Paper 260. Again, 260 stands for grams per square meter. It talks about how heavy the paper is, how thick the paper is. Again, for thin paper, it lays down less ink than it does for thick paper. So, Premium Luster Photo Paper 260. Good? Okay. So that's what I'm going to choose for this paper. But I am going to show you guys for Red River, because I'm sure a lot of you guys bought the Red River paper. For Red River, this is all alphabetical, so you're just going to scroll. It won't scroll. So you're going to go all the way down to RR. RR. RR stands for Red River, and you're going to choose Red River Ultra Pro Satin 4. Red River Ultra Pro Satin 4. That's the paper I recommended if you ordered from Red River. If you have Ilford paper, we're going up, and we're going to have Ilford, and this is where they don't spell it out, they just give you a bunch of initials. So write this down, Vaughn. I'm assuming that the person gave you Pearl paper. Ilford, it's going to be Ilford Galleria Smooth Pearl Paper. So just write down these letters, GPSPP. If you say it out loud, Galleria Paper Smooth Pearl Paper, GPSPP. So that's the letters that you'll need for that specific paper. But everybody else, I'm sure, is either in this box or in the Red River box. Now I'm going to go back up to mine. Okay. I'm on Premium Luster Photo Paper 260. Below printer profile, it says 16-bit data. Do I want to check that?
Yes.
Yes, I do want to check that. And then we have, this is going to be a default where it's normal printing. So yes, it's normal printing. Then we have rendering intent. We're going to choose relative color metric. There's a couple of options here. Some people choose perceptual. I haven't found really any significant difference, but I do choose relative color metric as my option. I feel like it's truest to the color that we set it to. Under that, we have black point compensation. So, yeah.
So do we gotta do this for every print we make?
Yeah. It's just like doing a test strip. Do I have to do a test strip for every 5x7? Yes, you do. So this is just the steps that you'll have to go through each time that you print. Here's the good news, Hannah. Typically, all the things that you just set are going to stay defaulted, but you have to check every single one, because if somebody before you printed on glossy paper, then you gotta go into the printer settings dialog. You've gotta go through all of those dialog boxes. So it's best to open it and, okay, all right, yes, everything is checked correctly. So send 16-bit data, relative color metric. Now this says black point compensation. Did we set our black point in Photoshop?
Yes.
We did. So we don't need to check black point compensation. So that's going to be unchecked. All right, for those of you wanting to come take a picture, come take a picture. So we've got our Photoshop manages color. We choose the printer profile according to the paper that we have, send 16-bit data, normal printing, relative color metric, black point compensation unchecked. Okay? All right, I'm not going to hit print yet because there's something that I need to do on the printer. On the printer, I just need to make sure that no, it's not nearly as complicated on the printer. On the printer, all I have to do is make sure that it has the correct paper profile. Okay? There's not much that I've got to do.
Oh, God. He said, oh, God.
So on the printer, and you guys can come gather around.
I couldn't do nothing but laugh about it.
I mean, it's only a couple steps, you know?
We'll get used to it, though. That's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah. It's a big printer. That's huge. How would you print out of that?
All right, so I'm going to grab my paper out of my box. You want to make sure that you're handling this paper along the edges with clean, dry hands.
Right.
Because if you have greasy hands, oily hands, damp hands, then it can leave a mark where the ink doesn't, it can leave marks on the edge of the paper depending on how bad your hands are. But always handle the paper by the edge. And luckily, the Epson paper makes it real freaking easy to figure out which side is the side you print on. Red River and Ilford, they don't have this on the back of the paper. So you're gonna need to know which side is the printable side. I can't tell you how many times I've watched people print on the wrong side of the paper. And people are like, oh wow, it looks cool, all the ink is running off the paper. I'm gonna punch you in the face. Where does all that ink go when it runs off the paper?
It's just like the darkroom print on the wrong side.
No, way worse, because then there's
Yeah.
ink dripping into the printer. You print on the wrong side, cool, throw it in the trash. You just lose a piece of paper. With this, you drip ink into the printer. So again, Epson makes it real easy to know which side is the printable side, the side without writing on it. Red River, you're just gonna need to look at the paper. And you'll see tooth on one side, and then you'll see that it's kind of flat on the other side. They're always gonna put the emulsion side up whenever you're pulling your paper out, when you take it out like that. But this makes it easy. You're not gonna print on the wrong side whenever it's got this printed on the back. Otherwise, you just need to see which side has like a tooth to it, less of a shine, then the back side's gonna be kind of matte. When we're lining this up, again, cannot stress this enough. Do you see the line on here? That's where you line your paper up. This line, not to the edge of the printer. It will print on your paper crooked, and it will print off of your paper. So that means that there will be ink on the print, on the back of the print head. So it cannot go to the edge, it must go to the line. There is a line here, there's also an indented line in the metal, but when I load it, will it let me load it all the way to here?
Oh, yeah, it
Sure
will.
will. Yes, it will. So you gotta make sure that it is on this line. I have plenty of people print, and I'm like, I walk by and I'm like, it's not loaded correctly. So always hold your paper by two sides or by right in the top in the middle. Don't hold it in the, I don't know why, I don't even, like, it makes me uncomfortable to do it. Why somebody would hold this in the middle and hold it up. You're gonna ding the paper. So handle it by the edges, two hands. I can't get this paper in here with the screen tilted that way, so I gotta tilt the screen back. And load it in, line it up. So now it's lined up right there along that line.
Okay, I noticed the way you put it in, that bottom, what are you doing? Just putting it up against the indentures at the bottom?
Oh, it stops the paper whenever
Oh,
you
it
do
stops it,
Mhm.
okay, okay,
So yeah, we're just going to,
okay.
get it lined up, so it's right there along the edge, and again, there's an indentation on the metal that you can get it lined up right there.
Okay,
Now on the printer, it says press down and load paper. So we're gonna press down and let it load the paper. If you see a symbol where it's got this little roller thing on it, and you put the paper in, then the paper is just gonna slide right out of the printer. So if you, I'll show you the roller thing because people are gonna lose paper through the printer. It's gonna happen, it's gonna slide straight through. I'll show you after I get done. The next thing it says is select paper type. And if I just did a nozzle check, I printed on plain paper. Guess what we don't wanna have the printer set at when we're printing on good paper? We don't wanna have it set on plain paper because
that's plain
that's
paper.
plain paper, we don't wanna have that setting on there. We have to make sure that it's set on the correct one. So if it says, if you read it and it says premium luster 260, cool. Somebody
Because we
before you.
put that in there, oh,
Yeah,
somebody. before.
somebody else before you've already said it, and if you've got premium luster 260, awesome. If you don't, then you're gonna need to change settings. So you're gonna press the down button. So it says keep settings above. If you say okay, then it's gonna stick with what it says there. If you need to change it, you're gonna press the down button to change settings.
Okay,
And once it's on change settings, you say okay. The one at the very top, select paper type, says photo paper. You say okay, and then you have options: premium glossy 250, premium semi-gloss 250, premium luster 260, semi-matte, photo paper gloss 250. So if you have gloss, you're choosing the gloss option. If nobody bought gloss, great, then we're all printing on premium luster 260.
okay.
So, okay, and now it's ready to go. Now for all of y'all who want to inform me that the ink is low on the printer, y'all, I know. It's always gonna say ink low. Don't worry about it. If it runs out of ink, it will stop printing. So if it stops printing in the middle of your print, that's when you come tell me that it ran out of ink. Don't come tell me the ink is low. There are 12 cartridges. One of them's always low, guaranteed.
Gotcha.
So it'll stop in the middle of your print and then I'll have to go change the cartridge. But ink
So
low,
if it stopped in the middle of our print, you change the cartridge, it's not gonna mess up the
No,
picture?
it
It just
doesn't.
stop right there and you start,
Doesn't,
okay,
happens all the
continue,
time.
okay?
Yeah, happens all the time. Okay, so the paper is loaded. We have premium luster photo paper set on it. Now I can hit print. So, okay, print. Oh, there's that thing I told you about. The image is larger than the paper's printable area. Some clipping will occur. It says that because I chose the centering option. If you don't choose the centering option and you just choose Super A3/B sheet, it won't say this. But because I want it printed perfectly even on the paper, it's going to say this.
But otherwise, I would say the Super B,
Otherwise, just say Super A3/B sheet. And it won't say that.
When are we printing?
Tuesday. Tuesday and Thursday. Everybody has to be ready to print Tuesday. I need to see that everybody's ready to print on Tuesday. If you're not ready to print on Tuesday, then it could be considered late. Because if everybody waited until Thursday to print, we would not get everybody printed. We won't have time. So I'm gonna say proceed because I know that I've resized it to the correct size. I know that it's 12 inches by 18 inches. So now it's gonna print. And it takes a minute to warm up. Don't walk away from the printer. When the sheet is done, the printer will hold on to the paper. It won't just drop it at the bottom. If you ever print on roll paper and it's done printing, it's gonna cut it when it's done and it will fall straight onto the floor. This paper, it will hold the paper until it's finished. But I don't want you guys to walk away from it. If I walk over and there's a printer and there's nobody there and it's printing, we're like, who's printing? You're supposed to be keeping an eye on things. Because this also could be when you realize that something is going wrong. That it's printing off the edge, that it's printing on the wrong surface type, and it's dripping all over because it's printed on the back of the paper. So stay with the printer until it's done printing. And I want people to be prepared. When somebody is done, say, I'm done, so that the next person can zip in. Again, we've got 2 printers, and I'm gonna log into this dialog box so you guys can look over my shoulder and see what I'm doing on this one. It's less complicated than this one. It's less complicated, but it's all the same settings. It just has fewer sub dialog boxes. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over here while that's working. Yep, that's gonna be embarrassing because then I'll have all these people trying to help me off the floor. Let's see if I can make this any bigger. There we go. All right. So sorry if you guys can't see. I will help people on this side if they're running into problems, but it's pretty much the same. Same thing. Printer, print settings. When you pull up print settings, you don't have that initial box, and then you have to go to print settings. It just pulls up print settings automatically. It doesn't have all the other options like layout, color matching, whatever else. So same thing. It's going to be either Super A3B sheet or Super A3B centered. And I'll just go ahead and say sheet. And then you're going to go to printer settings, and that's going to be page setup, premium Western Photo Paper 260, 16-bit, super photo, high speed, finest detail, save. So it's just about one dialog box is different, that's it. Everything else is the same. Color handling, Photoshop manages colors, it's going to be premium Western Photo Paper 260, send 16-bit data, mobile printing, or colorimetric, black point and check. And then when I hit print, it's not going to say flipping will occur because I chose Super A3 sheet instead of centering. So either one you choose, just know that if you choose centering, it's going to say flipping will occur. That just means that you should definitely check if you got the right size paper or the right size document. Okay. So once it's finished, it's going to think about it for a little bit. It's got to contemplate. It'll do a little contemplate. It's going to think about it. It's going to make a little noise. Then once it's done, it's going to say paper eject. Press down while holding the paper because if you don't hold the paper, it ends up on the floor. So eject.
Oh, wow.
Now we've got our print.
Very nice.
And then we're going to bring it over to the table. And this is why we never have food, drink, birthday cakes in this room.
I didn't even know they were doing that.
She's like, I never friended Kristen on Instagram.
I didn't even know they were doing that, so that's not my fault.
Yeah, we did.
So you're gonna place it on the table. This, we used to tell people to wait like 5 minutes to let it dry. It does not take that long anymore. Give it like 2 minutes and this stuff is really quick to dry. You might wanna wait a little bit longer before you put it into your portfolio because it's a plastic sleeve, but yeah, I would say 2-3 minutes. You're fine to go ahead and sleeve it, put it when you're done.
So those are the sizes?
This is gonna be the size for this project. Next project, you guys are gonna be doing panoramic, so you're gonna print one image on one sheet of paper. So there won't be any layout. You won't be creating an untitled document and copying and pasting images. It's just gonna be, you print the document. But that's gonna be the size for this project so that you can get 4 images on 2 sheets of paper. Okay? All right, so make sure that we're gonna be prepared to print.